My name's Christina. I go by Chris Hasensaw. And I'm one of those former students from Addison. I live in Jackson, Michigan now. And I'm the face of the destruction, not 2 years ago that you guys are dealing with, but almost 30 years ago. I was a 14-year-old student. He was my coach, he was my English teacher, he was my mentor. He groomed me sexually. I watched him victimize 2 of my players, and for you guys that support him, I looked around the gym. You know, loyalty, does he have it for himself? Honesty, none. And I didn't say a word because I'm still that 14-year-old child after 30 years that's now speaking out. And I'm asking you, I have nothing to gain. He doesn't want to heal. He wants to continue his reign of terror. And if you want to see faces like this of your own community's children, that seat should stay empty, or you should find a loyal person that truly cares about the kids. I kept my mouth shut because who was going to believe us? Who was going to believe a 14-year-old? They wanted to keep away from their bruised eyes, so they just lifted that rug and swept it under there. I'm done sweeping it under. I'm done. I'm asking you for there to be no more Addison. No more Addison.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brooke Kelly. This is the second trip I've made from Georgia to come up here and talk about Patrick Hickey. I was a student, and I was also a member of his basketball team. I witnessed, along with my mother, Patrick Hickey, after one of our home games, go into a cemetery at approximately 10 o'clock at night, along with one of my fellow players and classmates, park in the back of the cemetery. They both got into one vehicle. Very shortly thereafter, vehicle starts bouncing. My mother and I sat and watched, had a very short discussion over, Mom, don't do it because I have to go to school there. You don't know what hell I'll receive when I go back to school tomorrow. Thank God my mother did not listen to me. My mother called the school board, reported what we saw, and I believe it was 5 days after, Patrick Hickey was gone and no longer a threat to any more students. That student I saw him with was not the first student, but the second student I know that he has done inappropriate things with. I am a former military member, a military police investigator, and also a violent crimes investigator with the Richmond County Sheriff's Office in Augusta, Georgia. I've handled many cases like this. And for Patrick Hickey to say that he has been cleared of any wrongdoing in police investigations is a lie. I'm looking at each and every one of you in your eyes, and I'm telling you that is a lie. The only investigation that has ever taken place started in 2016. And that case is not closed. It is not closed. The more Patrick Hickey talks, boasts, and has his head inflated because he thinks he keeps getting away with everything that he does, more people from Addison that he has hurt are going to come forward and talk about what they know and what they have seen. I will not name the victims because I will not victimize them again. That is for them to decide when they're ready to talk. But I'm telling you, please do not lift this ban. Children need to be protected. Employees need to be protected. This man has not, he keeps saying he wants to heal. Let the wounds heal. Let's move on. The best way to have done that was to walk away and let things die down. That man stood up for a fight because you know what? God bless Washington Local School District board members who actually had the nerve to call him to the carpet and answer for what he had done in your district. I beg you, keep this ban. Keep this ban and protect the people that have voted for you, the children, the parents, and your employees. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jim Driscoll. I'm a former teacher for 31 years in the Addison Community School District. I was teaching across the hall 27 years and 59 days ago on Monday, November 5th, when Kelly Wynn was sent down to escort Mr. Hickey to Mr. Deek, our principal's office. I must admit, I was fooled like everyone else at that point in time. In fact, that morning I said, Patrick, you have my complete and full support. At the end of that hour, as I was asked to watch that because his room because I was right across the hall, he came back and got his keys and he left. He left not due to the relocation of his wife, as it says on his application for employment here. He left because he was told either leave or you will be prosecuted for inappropriate relations. He left with 2 weeks to go in his basketball season. His girls had a game the following night in a dismal 5-12 season. And that much superior team that next night, those girls with a new coach beat. And they beat them the next week in the first week of the district. Not only did he leave, his wife left. And she was the coach of my 8th grade daughter. And my wife and I had to explain to our daughter why she did not get to present Sue Hickey with a sweater that they had made for her. From 1978 until his retirement in 1993, Don Deek and I ran every night after school. I have a record of it back to that day. So I know what happened in that meeting that day. And I know why he was no longer employed at Addison Community Schools. And I know if you look at the memo that is on Facebook, dated November 5th, 1995, between Mr. Hickey and Mr. Kirsch, who was a superintendent at Addison at that time, he says his employment dates are May 12th, 1986 to November 5th, 1990. But if you look at his application for employment, it says that he was employed at Addison from August of 1986 to August of 1990 on both his applications to this district. He also used a letter of reference from Don Deek in his employment here. That letter of reference was undated, and it was from 1988 because Don Deek says, in the past 2 years that I've known you. That was a generic letter of reference. What you've seen reported in the Blade, and I can assure you those items presented there in the Blade.
You have 3 minutes is up. Please finish in one sentence if you could.
I just want to tell you that if I were in your shoes, and I am a present member of the Addison School Board, that I envy your position, but I will assure each and every one of you that my daughter would have never, ever played for Patrick Hickey in high school basketball at Addison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ken Mullen. On the day that Pat was asked to leave Addison Community Schools, I was the athletic director. I was at an athletic director's meeting. I came back from the meeting. The principal called me in and told me what had ensued, that Pat had been asked to resign or be prosecuted. I was a little worried about Pat being, I don't know how to say it, but I was worried about his mental mental well-being, and I asked the custodians when he comes in to clean out his room, come and get me, and they came and got me, and I went down, and Pat was in there with his spouse and an older couple, either his parents or her parents. I asked him out in the hallway, and I said, Pat, I just want to make sure you're all right. And Pat said, I want you to know it wasn't all my fault. That point, I turned, walked away, and I haven't seen him or spoken to him since. I don't envy you gentlemen the job you have. It's tough. I was an educator for 32 years. I hope you do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you.